start to shine. Fire up your
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, man.
It's alright.
Baby.
Who's next?
Hey guys, welcome back to the Duffus Family channel. It's Nicole here. I'm all by myself, but not really, because Mr. Duffus started this. So anyways, my story time is about no, not cigarette. What's the song? I'm not gonna sing it. But you guys remember the song "Weed is Life"? It's not. It's not. No offense if you smoke your weed. No offense. But yeah, my story time is about why I started smoking weed, why I quit smoking weed. So first and foremost, I Jamaican born and raised. I come from Mobile, as my husband wanna say my country girl. Now I pretty much I have family members that smoke. My ex-boyfriend smoked. But that's pretty much all the weed that was around me. And for me, smoking was just like, it's not attractive for a woman to smoke, kind of thing. So if you told me that I would have smoked, I'd be like, nah, you're crazy. No, that's not ladylike. That's not right. That's not okay. Don't do it. As a matter of fact, when I saw a woman smoking, I was just like, what is she doing? But anyways, so I started smoking weed when I was attending George Brown. The year I don't quite remember. I don't quite remember the year right now. You remember what year I went to George Brown? Okay. But yeah, so I started smoking weed when I was attending George Brown College. Now, it wasn't the pressure of school or whatever. I was living through a lot. I was living with a lot. And the morning, actually, I kind of felt suicidal so my school was downtown and I had to go on the train to go down to, I think, King Station. Correct me if I can't remember. Correct me if you know what I'm talking about. In Toronto, George Brown, King Campus, I think it was King Campus. So that campus, if you know what station you come off, yeah, King Station, King Campus, yeah. So I think I am right. So anyways, I had to take the train to go down to school, whatever. And I don't know, like I struggle with suicidal thoughts for a long time, a very long time, and that's partly because of abuse that I've endured for years. And I kind of feel like I deserve that in a sense. So I developed some kind of self-hate. Anyways, so the morning, I had the music in my ears, saying, "It's already done. It's already done. The victory's won. It's already done. You will not die here, even though I cried here." Something, I don't remember the chorus. I shouldn't remember it. But basically it's what's his name? Kevin Downswell
DJ and Ryan Ma.
and Ryan Mark that sing that song. I love that song. Because it means something to me. I love it. So anyways, I had a song blaring in my ears while I'm crying, going to going to school. And I'm listening to it. And I don't know, like that part was just ringing in my ears. It's already done. It's already done. While that's playing in my ears, I cry. I remember feeling like, okay, I just wanted the pain to numb, not feel it, not to deal with it. That's what I felt like. By the way, my attempt was for the train thing was like twice me think about the train thing. But anyways, that morning in particular, like made it just feel a mess. Honestly, made it just feel messed up. And then I don't remember what class I had, but then my other girlfriend at the time, she had smoked cigarettes, and then this other guy, he smokes weed. So I don't know, for whatever reason, that morning was just like, let me try it, like let me see what the hype is. Cigarette, I don't like the smell of cigarettes, so I was just like, no, I don't want to try that. But I'm like, for weed, I've always loved the smell of weed. Let me say that. I've always liked how it smelled. The right kind. The right kind. I like how that smelled. I liked how that smelled. So I was just like, you know what? I want to try it. So the guy rolled up and he's like, okay, here. So he gave me first to pull. And like I pulled it one time and started coughing out my lungs. And then he's like, okay, he's like, just relax. And so what, and relax, because I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't. So I was just like there and take a pull. I'm just cough out it. Basically everything about, so nothing went into my head or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, what's the hype about? I don't understand. So he's like, all right, just hold on, just chill, just walk in there and just chill out. He's like, blow it out. Then he'd say, pull it in. Oh, okay, by the way, I'm not teaching anybody how to smoke or get high. So, okay, let me just leave that part out of it. So anyways, he told me basically what to do so I could feel it. So I did that, right? Still, I had a little tickle in my throat, so I kind of cough a little bit. But this time, I held in more, right? So him said, all right. Him said, all right, release that now. And he said, pull in one more. So after I did that, I gave it to him. I didn't take it back. He's like, you're a first timer, so it's not gonna take no time to lick you. So I'm there and smoking, my girl's smoking her cigarette, and he's just there puffing his whatever, the wee, and I'm just there, and like I started feeling numb, like I couldn't feel my skin, like me just, the pain that I was feeling, I couldn't feel it no more. I started to feel numb. Anyways, I liked how that felt. I liked it. Now, I used to be a PK or a pastor's kid. I used to be one. So, and everybody that I know is from the church, except for those that I met in college. And I don't really have a connection with anybody to that because my life was basically church and my yard and school, right? So I didn't really know anybody too tough that really smoked. So the only time I would get to smoke was when I went to school or whatever. So I liked how I felt, and I like feeling numb, and I like not feeling the pain and not dealing with the pain that I was dealing with. I like the fact that I didn't have to deal with that. And what was happening to me, because I didn't want to feel that pain, I always wanted to be high. So I remember even on the weekends, like, because I found out where the guy lived shortly thereafter, and then we exchanged number, and then it's just like, okay, can you spot me a dime or whatever? Not spot me, like, I would get a dime back from him or whatever. I still can't roll to save my life, but I could do enough to get it in my system. Anyways, I remember this one night I smoked so much until I passed out. And because I liked how it made me feel. I felt invincible. I felt like nobody could hurt me. And then that pain, what's making that sound? Yeah, sorry about that. And then that pain that I walked around with, I couldn't feel it. Keep in mind, by this time I have mutilated my body. I pierced my belly button. I had more piercing on my ears. I pierced up here. Like, I done so much to my body at the time, but it would not, the pain would not subside. The pain that I felt, it would not subside. So piercing my belly button 3 times, nothing. It was still there. The only thing that did it for me, the only thing that made me feel numb, the only thing that made me feel carefree, the only thing that made me not care what people think about me, the only thing that made me, at the time, that made me feel like, who cares? Like, the only thing that made me feel numb. And then not only that, because I'm a survivor of sexual assault, like, that part of me, that shy side, that part of me that, oh my God, like, my body's a weapon, don't touch me certain way, like, that part of me, I wouldn't care about that, and then I'll become more open sexually, right? So I liked all of that because outside of that, I was, shy, reserved, and I will freak out if he's my husband now, but my boyfriend at the time, like, if he touched me certain ways, like, yeah. But it just brought out a side of me that I was scared to bring out, because, again, like, it's just how I kind of felt in myself. But anyways, like, one night I smoked and then I passed out. And in passing out, like, trust me, I know that God has always been with me. I know that. I know that He has always been with me. And when I came back to myself, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I remember hearing in my head, like, I'm becoming a stumbling block in the way of sinners, because I'm struggling, yes, but I'm like, I'm supposed to be a Christian. I can't invite these people to church, like, invite them to church and I'm smoking with them and, stuff like that. So I'm like, I can't invite these people to church, kind of thing. What am I going to say to them? And that, when I start coming back to, like, I ate a whole medium-sized pizza. Okay? I did. So after I ate off that pizza and hearing all of that in my head, I still didn't stop smoking, by the way. I still didn't stop at that time, because, again, I wanted to numb what I was feeling. I didn't want to feel that pain. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? Maybe the weed is not even enough. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to try something harder, like a harder drugs. I did contemplate it. But the people that I hang around with, or I was friend with or associates with, like, they're not that crowd of people. They're not. And then I dropped out of college because I couldn't focus. I wasn't focused. So it's not the weed that caused me to drop out. It's just everything that I was going through that made me not focus. I couldn't focus in school. I wasn't doing my best. I wasn't doing well. So if you guys remember in the video, my husband made a video congratulating me for going through my first semester of school. Like, that's a big deal because I don't normally complete things that I start. And it's because, again, of my mind is not clear to focus in school. I couldn't really focus. And then weed does that to you too. Like, it makes you, it alters your perception. It alters your perception. So I really couldn't focus, whatever. So then, I dropped out of college. And so dropping out of college, I wasn't with my college friends anymore. So again, I'm a church girl, so where am I gonna get weed from? Then I started hanging out with this other friend of mine, and I started, she buns, I would bun, and no, not the friend that y'all thinking about. For those of y'all that know me, no, not that friend. But anyways, I started hanging out with this friend, and then we would drive up and down. I would leave from here, so go whatever again, just so I wouldn't feel that. But then I realized that, so over here they have hydroponic, and they will have the cess and the hydro. Yeah, cess and hydro. Right? When I smoke hydro, it ain't good. It's not good. And so the friend that I hang out with mostly smoke hydro. Right? So smoking hydro, like, you get more giddy. I laughed more. It was just not. It was not my friend. I remember one night when I built up, I rolled, I built up, and then by this time I live farther east, so I had to take the GO train. And I remember, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna numb up to go home and, deal with what I gotta deal with. So I said, okay, let me get numb up, whatever. But I smoked the hydro. So when I reached home, I was running from myself. Running. Like, I saw myself in the mirror, and I ran. Because I started feeling scared, and I started panicking and all that stuff. So I ran from myself, and I saw myself in the mirror. And I was like, okay, I really need to stop this. And not only that, people call it sleep paralysis. Yeah, that's what people call it. But yeah, okay, let's just stick to that name. So I was dealing with a lot of that as well, a lot of sleep paralysis, and things will always hold me down in my sleep and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I really need to stop smoking this hydro thing. Again, still didn't stop smoking yet. Still didn't stop smoking. And some days, even today, until today, I don't even want to say that because I of late, I don't have the urge for it. But I said, okay, I won't smoke any hydro. That's what I said. So, it's because, again, that feeling. And that's why I really don't, I don't like liquor. I don't like the feeling of being drunk. I don't like it. But for me, I feel like once I start drinking, I want more. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like once I start drinking, like I want more of the hype and the high or whatever. So like that's why I stay away from alcohol altogether. But yeah, like I didn't stop smoking the hydro. Sorry, I stopped smoking the hydro, and I was like, okay, I want cess, because the cess, made me a little bit more mellow in the terms of when I get high and coming back down. The hydro does this to me, like flings me all the way up there and then drop me back, boom. But it was reading the word. It was getting to know God for myself. It was allowing God to fix that part of me, because what the weed was doing, as I learned in counseling, it was allowing me not to deal with. It was taking me basically out of this world and out of this earth. And what I needed to do because of the trauma was to trust my surrounding again and not necessarily not deal with it. So I realized that I had to deal with a lot of stuff and not ignore it, because I know a lot of people say, oh, you can't get addicted to weed, you can't get addicted. It depends. It depends on the reason why you're smoking. Some people do it, for fun, or, socially, whatever. But for me, I was using it to band-aid something, to fix something, right? But it took the Spirit of God to fix it and teach, good teaching. Because I learned from His Excellency, I learned that you don't weed, like it alters your mindset. It's and that's witchcraft when your mindset is altered. So because of that, like I've really made the conscious decision. And not only that, like if my blood is tainted, then other things can happen when my blood is tainted. And trust me, in order to do certain things, your blood has to be clean. Your blood has to be clean. Your mind has to be right. Your spirit has to be right. So not only that, and just not wanting to do anything to displease God, or not wanting to do anything that's really gonna affect my children. And so I stopped, because it's really not what God wants for my life. And I just trust Him. I trust Him with the pain that I was feeling. I trust Him with the trauma. I trusted Him with that. And not to say that some days, or I never had weak days, or I never had weak moments, or I never slipped up, or never, not to say that, because I had those days when the world came tumbling down on me. And I was like, okay, I need a pull, so I would roll up and I would take a 1-2 draw. Not now, but I had my days. And I said to my husband, because you know what, and I think I encouraged you guys in the beginning of the year, like, you know what, if you've been through any kind of trauma, like start getting some form of therapy, because therapy really does help. It really does help. And trusting God really does help, because sometimes we have 10 million questions in our head and we don't have the answers to them, right? We don't have the answers to them, but getting some form of therapy helps. It really helps. And talking to God. I know we're not really big on therapy. I know we're not really big on it, but you know what? Get the help that you need. Get the help that you need. I have learned so much about myself in therapy. I did learn so much. And yeah, and just trusting God, getting close to God, getting in His Word, finding a true man of God to, you know what, encourage you, let you know when you're wrong, lift you up, all those things. A true man or a true woman of God, like, we need those people in our lives. You know, people that will pray us through situation, people that when we're down, they will be like, you got to get up from there. Like, we need all of those. They're called your support system. You know, I have one of the best husbands in the world. I pray God cover him every day, because you know what? He's one of my greatest support, one of my greatest cheerleader. And I thank him and I love him for, you know, just being here with me, because someday, boy, I may not even know how him deal with me. But that's it in a nutshell. Why I started smoking weed, why I stopped smoking weed. I hope this video was helpful to some of you guys. If you like this video and you made it to the end, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you think this video will be helpful to somebody else, pass it on, okay? And remember to be kind. You never know what somebody's going through. And spread the love, as my husband would say. Spread the love. Okay, bye guys. See you in our next video.
Yeah, you. You in a Foswick. No, not you. You're natural, man. The one over there, son. Tell her to subscribe. Yeah.